Hello, I am Paco Garcia and welcome to these videos in which I give you my insights as a GM, player or attendee at conventions. Is it okay to run a game at a convention and make it adult themed? Is it worth it? Content warning, this video contains descriptions of adult nature and rape. If you have any issues with that sort of descriptions, please watch at your own discretion or look away now. Welcome to the GMS Academy. Recently we had an issue at the UK Games Expo in which the UK Games Expo is the leading UK role-playing games and board games convention, and somebody thought that it would be really funny to have a table in which the players would play characters that had been raped. They wake up somewhere with sore bums. And nobody knew about this. He just dropped it and hoped for the best. And the best, far from coming, didn't even think of appearing because people got really upset. Now, is there anything wrong with adult content in role-playing games? Well, not necessarily. We've all played them, and there are plenty of games out there that cover adult nature's issues and situations and topics and themes and whatever. It's okay. It's okay to do it. But if you are going to play with something as sensitive as rape, at the very least, you have to let your players know. You're sitting down at the table with people you don't know, people who do not know you, people who are going there just to have fun, and you could be ruining it. So I'm sorry, but you have to tell people about that before you start, and it doesn't matter if it's spoiler, because you know what spoils games? To find that kind of content and have it completely ruin your day. It's just not worth it. So how can you do it if you want to bring adult content to a convention? Well, firstly, check with the convention's organizers, with all of them. Because they may have some guidelines. They may tell you, no, you cannot do that here. This is a family show. You cannot do that here. And then you already know. So do it at your own peril, which is what happened. Then make sure that everyone around the table knows the tone of the game and how far you're gonna go. They must know. It's really important. Is there going to be very heavy description of violence and gore? You know, dismembering and that sort of thing? Is there going to be rape content? Are you going to take away the agency of the characters to include that sort of situation onto them? People need to know about that. And why is this important? Well, firstly, because otherwise you could ruin the game for everyone around it. That kind of really defeats the purpose of role-playing games. But also, because something else could happen. This actually happened. I found out about this situation whilst reading the news. Yes, international news. The BBC got whiff of the story and they decided to run it in their website. Even the BBC, which is actually quite reputed, they would like to twist around a little bit what happened, make a headline that will be bigger than life, to gather as many readers and to get as much shock and commotion as possible. And thus, role-playing games looked really badly that day just because one person. Don't get me wrong, the UK Games Expo organizers dealt with the matter as swiftly as they possibly could and really professionally. So they were flawless, absolutely flawless in what they did. There were guidelines before that this guy completely ignored. There were guidelines during the game, and then there was action after the game. But that's not really the point. The point is that if it leaks out and it makes the world of role-playing games look bad, then I'm sorry, it's not worth it. I don't care if later on you're gonna come out to an interview and say, oh no, they didn't have sore bumps because they've been raped, they had sore bumps because they had diarrhea for something they ate the night before, and I just completely forgot to mention that. Well, no, actually, if you forgot to mention that, actually, no, that's bollocks, that's completely ridiculous. You know, maybe you're not as good a writer as you think, and definitely you're not as good as GM as you think. So no, you don't forget about that. So I don't believe that that was the case. That's for starters. So even if we were to believe that, I don't, the consequence is exactly the same. The news out there is that there was a gang rape scene, unwarranted, unannounced, imposed on the players in a place that does not allow it. We all look bad. Thank you very, very much for that. So please avoid it. Please avoid these kind of situations at conventions. Do you want to play adult themes? Do it in your own place. If you want to do it at a convention and they allow that to happen, do it away from people who could be upset about that. And for the love of God, do it away from children. Never, ever, ever play this kind of content in a room where there are minors, please, because that's really, really sick. That's just insanely unacceptable. Thank you very much indeed for being there. Please let me know, have you been in a situation where somebody has dropped the table something that you found really disturbing and had to be dealt with? How did you deal with it? How do you feel it should have been dealt with? I'd love to hear your experience. Please leave them down there in the comments. Remember to subscribe so you can get notifications when we release more videos like these, and do tell everyone about this. Give me a like or dislike if you have enjoyed or not this video, and hopefully I will talk to you very, very soon.